So I'm just sitting here thinking, and I just think what humans are forgetting is that society is supposed to be a safe environment for us to exist. Like in nature, animals, plants, etc., they create safe environments to keep them secure from predators. Humans have become predators on themselves, and therefore society is no longer, or has never been, a safe and nurturing environment, because we are missing that key nurturing aspect that we're kind of all in this together. We all have our role and our purpose that keeps it moving. But when society is not healthy or safe or secure, it is no longer an ecosystem. So I don't know if any of that's wrapping up or making any sense, but I don't understand where this understanding of, while yes, there is individualism, and I'm a huge advocate for individualism, there is still this component of we are the same species and we should be working together for a safe home, which is society. Civilization is supposed to be a safe home for the collective to exist. I would think that would be the purpose of society, and why we're all doing all of this, unless which has obviously been turned into slavery. We are all, obviously, it's a classist thing. There's so much going on, but I think what we're supposed to be moving towards, or the purpose, the intention of society, and where the corruptions have all led, is we're supposed to be working together, in an individual way. It's balancing the scales of the individual and the collective. The two things are true at the same time. And to go into the events of today or yesterday, the news of today, you can simultaneously grieve the death of a human being regardless of who they are. So you can grieve Charlie Kirk while also simultaneously believing that there is a necessity for political violence to take place, because obviously the peaceful route is not working. But if society feels like it has to resort to violent tendencies, then that means that the environment is no longer safe. And so while everyone's out here screaming, fuck your feelings, human beings are emotional creatures. Animals are emotional creatures. Plants are emotional creatures. If you have ever had a dog, you know that your dog, especially a rescue, has to feel safe. No matter the logic isn't going to work here, okay? So the people who are doing these things, if it's not a CIA operation, okay? If this is not a CIA operation for division, then this is an insight that people don't feel safe regardless of the logic, which is an illusion. So yes, there's mental health stuff going on there. It's the confusion of propaganda and the mistrust that has been placed on us within the fucking government, okay? 2020 really opened the door, and people have to quit pretending to believe the illusion. People have to quit pretending that they're fucking stupid, and that they don't know what's going on, that they can't see that there's this entity, there's this thing, something's wrong, something needs to change. People are lying to us, we're being gaslit. This is no longer the thing. We do not feel safe, and the logic that you're feeding us isn't logic, and it doesn't matter because it's not matching. The scales aren't aligned, okay? So the feeling, intuition, emotion is not matching the logic. Logic and intuition and feeling have to align for harmony. So if the environment doesn't feel safe, if your dog doesn't feel safe, they're not going to quote unquote act right. They're not going to fulfill their purpose, which, dogs have a spiritual purpose, or just even an atheistic purpose, to have unconditional love and healing. And there's a reason you get a pet. There's a reason you adopt a dog, even if you're an atheist, okay? So you don't even have to get into the spiritual. So we all have a purpose, and a dog will not fulfill its purpose, its role in the family, if it does not feel safe. So in society, the bigger family, because it's a family tree, it's an ecosystem, it's a collectivism, okay? So if the individual and the collective are not in sync on a logical and emotional plane, there's not going to be harmony. So stop, no, hold on. I'm with the dogs, and there's another dog that showed up, and Suna is very friendly. I have to remind her that just because there's a ball present doesn't mean she gets to go get it. So yeah, so anyway, there just needs to be a better balance between what's going on, and two things can be true at the same time. And again, so anyway, the fuck the feelings people. Society does need to feel safe and secure. But also the overly sensitive people, you have to find some grounded in logic, and that maybe your emotions are your own and not the world's problem, and that there are things that you can do at home before you have to take drastic public measures, and that there are other public measures that you can take. There are other choices. I think one of the biggest lessons in all of this is that we have a choice in how we lead our environment, our future, and we have better choices to make, and we need to make choices that are in love and integrity. And again, not a delusional love and light perspective. That is a deep lesson of the shadow and a left-hand path perspective. So this is for everybody. This is for the right, this is for the left, this is for left-hand path, this is for love and lighters, this is for everybody. If we want to move forward in harmony, the scales need to be balanced, and that includes logic and emotion and intuition. That includes feeling safe while logically also being safe. The math needs to math sociologically, psychologically, psychosocially.